We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some news coming out of last night's edition of Monday Night Raw, specifically about Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes to start off, who had a very intense segment hyping up their upcoming Hell in a Cell match this weekend. Now it is clear that WWE are not completely opposed to making subtle references to AEW All Elite Wrestling, because last night on Raw during Seth Rollins' and Cody Rhodes' segment, Seth Rollins and Cody made multiple references to AEW, and this is what Seth had to say during the intense promo with Cody, and there was a definite reference to Cody Rhodes destroying Triple H's throne in AEW back in 2019 at Double or Nothing. Quote, "You left WWE 6 years ago because you weren't good enough, and then every single day that you were gone, you and your little friends tried to tear down what I was building here, and when that didn't work so well for you, you came running back. The prodigal son returns home to fulfill his family legacy. Not on my watch, pal. You don't get to be the conquering hero in my kingdom. No, no, no. You don't get to take a sledgehammer to the throne and get to come back to take that throne from me. I don't like you. I don't want you here. In 6 days, I'm going to prey on your insecurities. I'm not just going to change you, I will end you. Then we can finally wake up from this American nightmare." By all means, this definitely makes storylines way more intriguing when superstars are allowed to make references to the competition, AEW, and even other companies, and the hype is certainly there for Hell in a Cell this weekend, when Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins face off against each other for the third time, now inside the unforgiving Hell in a Cell cage, and Cody Rhodes will attempt to defeat Seth Rollins for the third straight time, after wins at WrestleMania 38, and then again at WrestleMania Backlash. Now on a side note, do you feel that Cody Rhodes should get another win over Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell 2022 and then move up the card? Or do you think that Seth needs to at least get one win against Cody Rhodes so that he does not lose too much momentum? However, some fans will likely disagree with that notion, as many feel it's still way too early for Cody Rhodes to be taking a loss. But again, it won't be looking very good for Seth Rollins to take 3 consecutive losses to Cody Rhodes either. But let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Although Randy Orton being forced to leave WWE because of a serious back injury has put a big wrench in the WWE's plans for the summer, the company have quickly moved on from Randy Orton so that they can fulfill their storyline plans for the immediate future, and Shinsuke Nakamura has basically replaced the Viper as Riddle's tag team partner, with the two now continuing the feud with the undisputed tag team champions the Usos going into Hell in a Cell 2022. Last night on Monday Night Raw, Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura faced off against the Usos in a match with huge implications, because if Riddle and Nakamura won, they would be getting an opportunity at the Undisputed Tag Team Championships against the Usos, and while WWE haven't announced it quite yet, Riddle and Nakamura will likely get the huge title opportunity at Hell in a Cell this weekend, although again that isn't confirmed just yet. However, in predictable fashion, seeing as though WWE did plan for Shinsuke Nakamura and Riddle to get the title opportunity, the Usos had to take the loss, but it was a disqualification win for Shinsuke and Riddle, which really does make a whole lot of sense, because it would not be great for the Usos to take a clean loss at this point, but again, very predictable. While the Usos just recently won their undisputed tag team titles, as of right now it's unknown if WWE plan to have Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura win the championships when they do get their big title match, likely at Hell in a Cell 2022, but it is a real possibility, as WWE seem to be invested in Nakamura and Riddle's alliance, at least for the time being. Now, if there was one thing that was made very apparent last night on Raw, is the fact that Riddle has so much potential in WWE, and many fans want to see Riddle get pushed into the WWE Universal title scene in the near future, and that Riddle has basically been carrying the Raw brand lately. Now, quite bizarrely, despite being advertised to be making her return on Monday Night Raw last night, Lacey Evans was shockingly nowhere to be seen or heard from at any point during the show. WWE had advertised Lacey Evans' return last week on Raw, and that it would have been taking place last night, with Lacey Evans partaking in some kind of a return match, but it never ended up happening, and there was no mention of Lacey Evans by the Raw commentators. And as of right now, it basically seems like WWE scrapped the plans of Lacey Evans coming back for the time being, and are essentially planning for Lacey Evans to return at a later date. More details will likely be revealed in the coming days about Lacey Evans' status in the company, but definitely not a great sign that her return was cancelled out of the blue like that, despite being advertised to appear on Raw this week. Now, WWE could be in some serious or bad trouble moving forward when it comes to Friday Night SmackDown, because the show's ratings and viewership have taken quite a hit recently with the absence of the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. With ratings already hitting all-time lows very frequently in WWE, Friday Night SmackDown is in real trouble this summer now that it has been revealed that Roman Reigns won't be active on the show, and actually taking a 10-week-long complete hiatus from the WWE. And considering Roman Reigns was literally one of the main reasons why fans were tuning into SmackDown each week, this is simply just bad news for WWE overall going forward. If the rumors that Vince McMahon and WWE were unaware of Roman Reigns' impending leave of absence following WrestleMania 38 are true, Roman deciding to leave the company when he's such an integral part of the show is a bit of a disaster for WWE, not only on SmackDown but for Raw as well, because Roman Reigns is now holding both the WWE and Universal Championships, and neither show has an active world champion anymore, and this has already seen many fans lose interest in Raw and SmackDown lately. And with ratings already being pretty lackluster, this really does cause WWE a major problem, especially when their television partners are already a bit on edge, so to speak, with the low ratings over the last several months. A lot of fans feel WWE made a mistake by crowning Roman Reigns the undisputed WWE Universal Champion at WrestleMania, now that he is going to be gone. And we can only hope that SmackDown maintains itself to some degree when it comes to the ratings and viewership while Reigns is gone, otherwise Fox Sports may be getting uneasy about their television deal with WWE if the ratings continue to get worse, which they really could in the coming months, and that would truly spell disaster for WWE. We now have some truly unbelievable and downright tragic news regarding Jeff Hardy's status in AEW. Like we had touched upon in a previous video, there was a lot of concern shown from fans regarding Jeff Hardy's performance at Double or Nothing, and that Jeff basically seemed very off in the match. And according to new rumors, Jeff Hardy was reportedly a mess going into the Double or Nothing pay-per-view event, and this was because of Jeff Hardy's insane match against Darby Allin a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite. As a result, Jeff Hardy was pulled from AEW Dynamite this week, and the overwhelming reaction from most fans is that we are witnessing the end of Jeff Hardy's career as an actual in-ring competitor. And according to one of our sources, there is a very good chance that Jeff Hardy will sadly be retiring in the near future, as the wear and tear is simply reaching a level that's far from being good for Jeff's long-term well-being and health. And considering Jeff Hardy's 44 years old now, the fact that he has been performing some crazy moves lately is absolutely dangerous for him at this point, and likely leading him to retirement way sooner than it would have been if Jeff Hardy was to wrestle safer. Unless Jeff Hardy adopts a safer style in the ring to match his abilities at this point of his career, this is likely the beginning of the end of Jeff Hardy's in-ring career, unfortunately, although that is likely a good thing for Jeff Hardy's overall health and well-being long-term.